JFD, just fair and direct.
Okay, hello and good morning everyone. Welcome to JFD Traders Espresso with me, Darius Anucauskas. Today's the 17th of November 2021. So yeah, welcome everyone. Welcome to this Wednesday's morning session where we're going to have a very quick look at the markets, a few of the charts, the usual stuff. But before we do that, as always, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So, the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation, should not be considered as such, and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, I'll give you a few seconds to read the rest, and we can continue. Okay, so now then, also just before we jump into the charts, as always, quick mentioning of our JFD YouTube channel, to which you can always subscribe to in order not to miss any of our upcoming videos, and of course our JFD Bank website, and specifically our JFD research page, which we also update on a daily basis. So yep, check us out here on jdbank.com, and yep, click on the research tab right there on the top. So, excuse me guys, my voice is going down a little bit, so I hope it's going to get a little bit better. Just bear with me one moment. Okay, so hopefully that'll last a little bit longer. But anyway, jumping into the charts, guys, the first one I want to pick up here is Nikkei 225. Again, pushed higher but failed to stay higher, and yep, we drifted back down. We moved back below this 29,750 territory. So yeah, I mean, if this continues to slide, then well, we might see maybe a bit of a larger retracement here, but again, we're keeping an eye on this upside line taken from the low of the 6th of October in order to kind of, let's say, not to get too bearish here, because if this upside line provides support again, then yep, a nice little rebound here could be possible. However, if you're a little bit on the cautious side, well, excuse me, wait for at least a push back maybe above this 29,880 zone, and what I would like to see, a daily close above it, because as you can see here, we keep getting a move above this level, but at the end of the day, kind of at the end of the trading day, the index reverses and falls back below it. So I would like to see the daily candle, kind of the body of the daily candle closing above that area at least. Shanghai Composite. So this one's looking a little bit more, a little bit better, but still some obstacles on the way higher remain. Okay, guys, I do apologize for my voice today. A little bit, yeah. A little bit on the sore side. Now, okay, coming back to this, you can see that this hurdle here, the 3,515, did provide good support. We had a nice little rebound here. Can this move higher? Well, for now, one part of the idea is kind of working out. We're seeing that little rebound here, but can we see a push above that 3,553 territory? Well, we'll just have to wait and see, because at the moment, it's also a bit of a bit in limbo, I would say. So yeah, let's wait for a much clearer move here. Now, Dax, the German index. Now this one's on fire and continues to rally, and yeah, good performance from the German index. If we take a look at the cash index right now, and let me just jump into that one very quickly, we'll see that the price is currently trading at around 16,231 zone, so slightly below yesterday's close, but not far. But yeah, if it pops again higher and goes above the current all-time high, which is around that 16,266 territory, then, well, of course, this will confirm a forthcoming higher high, and will start aiming for much higher levels, then this will place, of course, the index into uncharted territory, meaning that, well, the sky's the limit in that case. For now, I mean, if by any chance this 16,266 territory continues to provide resistance, then, well, maybe a bit of a setback here could be possible. Maybe we could see a bit of a retracement. However, we are still keeping an eye on some of the hurdles here. So for the downside, I would like to see maybe a drop below that 16,150 zone in order to consider a larger correction to the downside. Nasdaq 100, so pushed higher nicely to the upside. Yep. We are now kind of aiming aiming for that. Excuse me, guys. Today, we're aiming for that highest point of November, the current highest point of November, near the 16,454 level. So far, it's on the right track here, but let me get rid of this box, no longer needed. But another thing to keep in mind here is this little downside line right here, taken from the high of the 5th of November. So in other words, if you're at the moment, I mean, everything's looking quite positive here for the for Nasdaq, but if it by any chance starts falling back below this downside line and falls below this 16,169 territory, then, well, maybe we could consider a bit of a retracement to the downside here, guys. The cash index is currently sitting at around 16,298 level, so not far from where it closed yesterday. Dollar index, so pushed higher, and yeah, look at this. I mean, it seems like the index wants to form something of a doji here, or sorry, a shooting star. But again, too early for that. We need to see what's gonna happen further, because again, at the moment, if we take a look at the bigger picture, you can see that we managed to clear this level. I talked about it yesterday, this 95.72 zone right here. We've cleared that one, and we pushed above it and stayed above it. So in a way, this kind of signaling that we're not really done with the upside. However, we do have some obstacles here on the way higher, so one of which is this one right here. And let me just put this one on the chart, roughly around here, roughly around that 96.39 territory. And if by any chance it kind of provides resistance, then maybe a bit of a retracement could be possible. And given the fact that we already had quite a decent up move here, maybe we could be due for a little correction lower. However, to be a little bit more on the safe side, I would say at least wait for a drop back below this 95.72 territory, just to be a little bit more on this safe side. Now jumping into gold, and gold initially pushed higher, and but retraced in the second half of the trading day yesterday. So let me remove all the drawings here and let me start fresh. So first of all, after cleared this barrier here, we made our way higher, and yesterday we pushed above this barrier. We created a new high for November, which is now roughly around that 1877 zone, and then we drifted heavily to the downside. Today we're seeing a bit of a retracement here, but if it starts falling somewhere below this an 1849, or let's round it up 50 level, well, I mean, maybe we could see a bit of a retracement, a larger retracement. And the reason why I'm saying retracement is because, as you already understand, we are still trading above this upside line. So if we fall below this hurdle, for example, below this 1834 territory, now more sellers could join in and drag this one a little bit lower. So that's why I'm going to be a little bit more on the careful side for now. And let's see how all this is going to play out. For me, to look for the upside, I need to see a push above this 1877 territory. For the downside, I would like to see, well, in the near term, I would like to see a drop below yesterday's low, but in order to consider maybe larger extensions to the downside, then yes, a drop below this 1834 level would be needed. Evo, yep, good morning to you too. I can see you there in the chat room. US oil, WTI oil. So here we have a bit of a situation. So we're seeing a nice little drag lower. It seems that the the commodities stuck right now in between these two lines. This is what I talked about yesterday, if you remember, that maybe, just maybe, we could see here maybe a triangle pattern. However, the way everything's shaping up here, I mean, it seems that this is a small little stall here before a continuation move lower. However, again, until we get that break through this upside support line through the 79.33 level, I'm not going to really do anything. I'm just going to continue observing the price action, and because then, just to be a little bit more on the safe side, like I said, that's what I need, and that's what I'm going to be looking for. For the Bitcoin now. So, nice good drop. Broke this sensitive upside support line taken from the low the 30th of September. Drifted lower, cleared some of the key levels here, key support zones, and well, we're now seeing a continuation move south here. And to be honest, after dropping below the 60,100 zone, it remains below it, and well, I mean, as long as it stays below it, my next target is the 57,606 territory right here, marked by the low the 28th of October. I'm gonna go slowly on this one. I'm not gonna go radically to the downside here, but let's go slowly, step by step. And yeah, let's see how all this is going to play out. This line no longer needed. What I would like to try and see if this is going to work out or not. Let me just put this one on the chart very quickly. So, okay. Let's see if this is going to be the case or not. But so far, doesn't seem to be like that one. But again, okay, maybe, just maybe, this could be seen as a rising channel pattern here, where we're testing right now the lower side of this rising channel, and yeah, maybe again just something like this could be possible here, but it's still the same thing. Maybe I'm just trying to find something where something that is not there, but either way, guys, I mean, for now, let's say, okay, I'll just keep it for the sake of it right for now, see if that's going to work out or not. But if we start falling below yesterday's low, yes, I mean, of course, lower levels could be met, and we will continue targeting the downside, but at the moment, be very, very careful. Now, AUD and ZD, so one of my favorite ones, and well, so far so good. If you remember at the beginning of this week, I talked about this this pair, and basically said that maybe if we climb a little bit higher, we could go for a bit of a retracement here, and this is the barrier that I was looking for. This 1.0418, we've managed to retrace all the way towards that area, but then what I said, that be careful, because even if we push through that barrier, still we have the upper side of the falling channel here, which could provide resistance, and so far so good. I mean, it seems that it's all working out nicely. So yeah, a very, very, very technical pair, I would say, for now. Because they're all good things, and sometimes, so yeah. Okay, so at the moment, I would say keep your eyes on this 1.0418 level. If it stays below it, then yes, we'll continue aiming lower. For now, I'm leaning a little bit more towards the downside, unless it breaks the upper side of the falling channel. Now, USD Jpy. So here, I would say be very careful, be very cautious, and yeah, it's it broke this triangle. So okay, we can get rid of and ignore this triangle pattern. We can maybe draw something like this, like a tentative upside line here. So, but again, it's not really something to focus on too much. But yes, we broke this downside line. It was a great move here yesterday. More buyers joined in, and most importantly, we also managed to stay above the highest point of October, near the 114.70 zone. So as you can see, today we saw a bit of a retracement, and this hurdle held. So as long as it stays above that, then yes, we'll continue aiming higher on this one, where my next target, and this is where I need to zoom out here a little bit, where my next target, of course, ideally, I would like to maybe consider this area here, the 118.66 level. But again, it's still, there are some obstacles on the way higher, like for example this one right here, the highest point of March of 2017, which is roughly around that 115.50 level. So keep that in mind, and yeah, let's see how this is gonna play out. Now, in terms of the downside on this one, well, of course, I would like to see a drop somewhere below one of these levels here, maybe this one, the 114.30. And if we drop below it, maybe this could lead to a bit of a larger correction here towards this upside support line. But again, this upside support line is very tentative, so don't really focus on it too much. I'm going to just keep an eye on it for now, but yeah, at the moment that's the kind of little game plan here. USD CAD very quickly on that one, and so here we have a pair which is nicely pushing to the upside. Of course, the Canadian dollar is weakening due to oil prices sliding a little bit here, so yeah, everything's kind of according to all that. And for now, we're trading above this little short-term tentative upside line. If you remember, I talked about it, and I said that if we pop above this 1.2494 level, then yes, we'll go for some higher levels. We'll aim for that 1.2583 zone, or even that 1.26 territory. We managed to reach that last week, so let me just adjust a few levels here, and yeah, so this 1.2605 is going to be the barrier that I'm going to be keeping an eye on. A nice good pop above it may open the door towards higher levels. Now, GBP/CHF, so if you remember, I talked a while ago about it, and well, so far, so good. Basically, after I said that, keep your eyes on this falling channel pattern and the lower side of it, and we managed to rebound from this, created a double bottom here, and broke the neckline, and continue to move higher. And what I said, that if we pop above and stay above this 1.24 or even the 1.25 territory, then yep, more buyers could join in. So far, so good. Of course, don't get me wrong, it might drift a little bit higher here, maybe find resistance somewhere near the 200-day EMA or maybe a 100-day EMA, then decline a little bit. And if this 1.25 territory continues to provide support, then yes, another rebound and a push higher towards the upper side of the falling channel would be possible. Also, of course, we had some data that came out right now from UK. Let me just quickly jump into that. I think the inflation figures that can't come out, so yeah, let me just quickly double check that. Okay, so inflation continues to rise in UK, so yep, it managed to beat the forecast. Yeah, I mean, at the moment, this kind of maybe is working in favor of the British pound, but later on it might, if it continues, let's say if it gets out of hand, then well, we could see maybe this one drifting back down. So basically, right now it seems that the kind of the idea why it's rising is basically that the Bank of England might start raising rates, but again, at the moment there's no plan for that. However, again, looking at this picture here, everything is looking quite positive here for the pound against the Swiss franc. Again, as I said, we could continue pushing higher here, and we could eventually maybe test this upper side of the falling channel, but if it stays intact, yep, another slide could be possible. So now then, Euro JPY, looking at this picture here, and just bear with me one moment, guys, just 1 second. Okay, I do apologize for the slight pause here. Now, in terms of the Euro JPY pair, okay, so this one wasn't in a falling channel initially, but then when I said that if it starts falling through the lower bound of it, then well, lower levels could be met. And look at this beautiful test of this upside line taken from the low of the 22nd of September. I've drawn this one before, and I said that that could be my next target together with the 200-day EMA, and well, we managed to reach that. We managed to and most importantly, we managed to strongly rebound from this upside line. So what I'm going to do now here on this pair, first of all, get rid of these lines here, no longer needed, but I'm going to recycle this one just to show that we are below this steep downside line here, which if gets broken, then yes, could open the door towards some higher levels, especially if the pair pushes back above this little hurdle. Let me just reuse this arrow, and there we go. So if it travels back above this 130.47 level, then yes, that's where more maybe more buyers could join in. However, again, we would be very careful just because we would have this downside line to deal with. So so yeah, there are a bunch of obstacles on the way higher here. So, but again, we can try to take advantage of some of these moves here. But yeah, at the moment, it's not really ideal. For the downside, pretty straightforward. A break of this upside line is needed in order to aim for lower levels, and just to be a little bit more on the safe side, a drop below the current lowest point of today, near the 129.42 level, would be required. EURUSD, so drifted lower, and look at this, 1.1255, almost managed to reach it today, and this is what was my target that I talked about, I mentioned yesterday, and well, to be honest, I'll take that as a good result, and I'll take that as a tick. At the moment, I would say keep your eyes on today's candle. Keep your eyes on today's inflation as well in the eurozone. Again, that's not really something to maybe focus on too much, because basically just is the final CPIs that will in a way should confirm the preliminary ones. But yeah, let's always keep an element of surprise in it, in all this. But at the moment, the technical picture shows that yes, the pair is quite weak. It's drifting lower, but I mean, at the moment it's finding the support near this 1.1255. But if it falls below this again, not again, but if it just falls below it, then my next target is the lowest point of June. Is this the lowest point? No, sorry, not the low of the 22nd of June of 2020, and then yeah, we'll take it from there. And that level is roughly around that 1.1169 zone. For the upside on the euro, now again, this is a tricky one, and this is where a few adjustments have to be made. Now, again, I will keep an eye on yesterday's high near the 1.1386. If it pushes above it, then we might maybe consider a bit of an up move here, and yeah, we could go for some higher levels for a bit of a larger correction to the upside. So guys, that's it for this session. I really hope you found it useful, and thank you very much for watching and listening. I really appreciate your time, guys. Your views, your likes, I really appreciate that. So thank you very much. And if you want to catch me tomorrow morning, as always, at my Traders Espresso, 7 o'clock GMT time. For now, have a wonderful trading day. Stay safe, have your stop losses in place, and everything will be fine. Bye bye.